So I have to like set the scene a little bit with this. Essentially, so how many people here have worked with a CRM? How many people love working with their CRM? So Kenny over here was my ex-co-founder from a previous company that we sold a while ago. We talk a lot about technical stuff, and he'll be like the part of the story here, and I'm going to make fun of him, so just because he's sitting right there. So essentially, I was sitting down there like realizing that. So I work a lot with different startups. I maintain relationships with different startups. Kind of, I work in an advisory. So I have this like entity problem, and CRMs for the most part have been kind of like a huge pain in my ass because they're really not flexible. But more importantly, it started out with a problem where I was trying to collaborate on documents with some other people and with my agents. And Google Docs is garbage for that. Actually, anything but Markdown is garbage. And so the first story behind the story is that Kenny instigated me, and he's like, well, actually, we should start collaborating on Markdown files because Markdown files are way better for agents. And I was like, okay, cool, I get that. So start working on Markdown files, great. So then I have a bunch of agents building a bunch of stuff inside Markdown files, and I want to push them into the CRM, and it's garbage. And it's really annoying, and there's these objects, and it doesn't really get it, and it's just not understanding it. And then I was like, okay, well, but I still need CRM because the relationships and because like reading files. And I can't remember exactly how I got to, but essentially the conclusion was Kenny called me an idiot because models are really fast at grep, right? And they're really, they can just call a tool, they can grep it, and they can find things. And I was like, well, if this is true and agents are really, like fast with files and using Markdown, and they can do grep really quickly, then why the hell do I need a CRM? I could just go build my own CRM. So that's what I did. As I said, I did something stupid. I built my own CRM, and I did that between Saturday and today. And Dan made me come present it, and so it's going to be rough, but this is what I did. So the idea here is actually, I have a fully running CRM. What it does is it will generate, it has some rules and conventions on how it has to generate a flat file structure across inside a Git repo. Right? So it will actually push the different entities into a Git repo. It will actually create the relationship between the people and the entities and the companies and all the files. And then anytime there's a binary file, think of it as like a deck or an image or a recording, it will put that in S3 and it will relate it to that. So why does this work really well? Because I can actually store all of this in a Git repo. So I get history and governance for free, right? I also generated it so that I have GitHub Actions. So anytime I push it, it will actually verify that the schema is being observed. So nobody can put garbage in it. And so there's schema validation across the entire, so I'm essentially getting what I get with a database, right? Which is kind of like referencing on the schema and making sure that things have. So I get that for free with GitHub Actions. And then I can actually go generate it and keep this in a file. So the main thing here that I had, and I just kind of want to, this will be the last thing I'll show code. Actually, it's, yeah. So the design principles were files over and folders over databases, grep over query languages, agents. I put it here nicely. Agents are humans as a second-class citizen. Everything's a file, so Markdown first. So Markdown, YAML for structure, S3 for binaries, and then everything. And this is actually one of the things that kind of came out for free, which is really cool. I compute the entire changes of the Git repo to create the summary. So if you think about it, let's say I have a company, and I'm going to show how I do this. I have a company, I talk about the company, it has files, I have transcripts, I have conversations I had, and maybe I have a deck, maybe I have some material. I put that all in individual files, and then I actually go compute a summary out of all of that that's AI generated, that is only done by the AI, right? So I have a live summary always that has all the updated information that I have about that entity. So then I built a bunch of skills, and I taught my Claude to do it. So let's go do it. And Kenny gets to be the victim of this. And so...
Time, by the way.
Huh?
Time, but...
Okay, sorry, it'll be 30 seconds. Actually, it might not be 30 seconds. So what I'm going to do really quick on this is say, hi, today I met with an entrepreneur called Kenny Daniel. He's working on a company called Hyperparam. I think the website is https hyperparam.app. We discussed about his upcoming seed round. I want to follow up in 2 weeks. So this is going to go, and so by the way, this ingestion endpoint works with Claude. It can work with, so the first thing is it's going to ask me if it can actually go find these entities, and you can see it's, I'm going to find entity resolution, see if I find the Kenny Daniel entity. I can't find them, so I'm going to go generate it. I'm going to go generate the company. I'm going to go generate a seed deal for that company, and I'm going to log some notes. And I still have to do some approvals here because this will be automatic, but I'm just going to let it rip. And so it's going to log this meeting, and it's going to go generate it. It's generating the slugs in each one of these places. Sorry, I know I'm over time. I swear it'll be done. You want to see the end. That's the best part. Ripping through tokens. It's going to create all the entities automatically, log the meetings, generate all the relationships. As you can see, it's actually generating all the relationships based on the descriptions, kind of resolving everything as I want it. It's going to go create it. It's going to create the log meeting. It's going to say that I want to follow up in 2 weeks. It's actually going to create a slug inside the YAML that's going to, when the recalculation of the entire system happens, it's going to go generate to-dos based on everything that it finds. And then I just git push this. And so it's actually multi-layer because we all contribute on the same repo. So the rules are maintained by the repo. The GitHub actions will actually make all the schema work. And yeah, so in this case, I'm going to cheat a little bit. And so this is all into a Git repo. And then the person I was collaborating with said, well, you know, I really like the Kanban and CRM, so like I want that. And it's like, well, it's easy to do. I can do that with our, just in the terminal, because who doesn't want a terminal? And it's way better. And I can actually go do and look through my pipeline and see the different companies and people. In this case, Kenny Daniel was generated. It hasn't recalculated, otherwise it would have calculated everything I know, but I can go, for example, talk on Joe. So everybody knows Joe here. Oops. Obviously my navigation could be better, but you can get these are the markdown files that get automatically generated. And then because I want CRMs to be fun, I have Doom mode.